Hi, Mr. Lewis. I got your referral from your doctor, and she had asked that we work together and speak today to address some smoking issues. You had expressed an interest in cutting back or quitting with your doctor, and so I'm here to try to help you organize a plan and try to see where we're at with that.
Okay, great.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this screening tool. It's an assessment to find out kind of where we are with your smoking, where we need to start, where we're going. And it's called a nicotine dependence test, which tells me to what degree your nicotine dependence is. So if you don't mind just filling that out for me.
Okay.
It'll take just a minute. It's only about 6 questions.
All right.
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just going to score it. Let me see. So 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like you have a score of 5, which on the scoring sheet you can see right here classifies you as moderately dependent.
Okay.
So that means that without nicotine, your body doesn't perform the same way it does. Have you tried to quit before? Let's start there.
I have several times in the past for various reasons and for various times. It just hasn't stuck very much.
Okay, well, what was the longest time that you were able to quit for amount of time?
I'm going to say probably 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so you've had some success in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, this time that you're trying, I'd like to talk about the reasons why, but first let's talk about on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you do not want to quit at all and 10 being you're never going to smoke again, what would you say your commitment to quitting smoking is?
I would say it was an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah.
So you're pretty committed to do this.
I think so, and I sure hope so.
Okay, and then on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your confidence level that you'll be able to be successful?
7 to 8.
Okay, so it's a little lower. Why not a 9?
Well, just because of history. I've tried, and then all of a sudden I'm alone, and I have a cigarette, and there it is again. So I've had failures in the past, so to put it up to a 9 would probably not be honest.
Okay, good. All right, so you've tried in the past and you haven't succeeded, but this time you'd like to try. And let's talk about some of the pros and the cons, because you've had some successes. What this time is important to you to make the change? What are one of the pros of quitting?
Well, I mean, obviously you hear everywhere in the media and just with friends that smoking is the worst possible thing that you can do to yourself. And if you want to do something that's horrible for yourself, go ahead and smoke. So
your health. You'll have better health.
Without
a doubt. Good. Good. What would be another reason?
My children.
Your children. Okay. Yeah, I can hear that when you were talking out in the hall with the doctor that you were talking about your children, and quitting smoking would obviously be a good example for them, as well as living longer to be able to see them accomplish goals.
Yeah, one of the things that got my attention was I was at a function and I saw someone who I'd not seen in a long time, and I lit up a cigarette, and people were drinking wine and cocktails and so forth, and it was a woman. She came over and she said to me, "Don't you want to see your grandchildren?" Which was, for me, kind of an aggressive thing to say, but it stuck with me. And she's a nice person, and she meant well, and I was a little offended, but she was right. If you keep smoking, it's not going to be a good thing in the long term.
Okay. So your health, your children, any other things you can think of?
My father died of lung cancer, and he had a cancer on his lung that was the size of a quarter, and he was in the hospital. And they were going to do radiation, but he had a heart attack in the hospital, and I think it was because he was just so overwrought over what he was doing, and that certainly has gotten my attention.
Okay, so again, health.
Right.
And what would be another reason that you can?
It's so difficult to be a smoker today. You know, you can't smoke in most buildings, so you have to go outside, and it costs a fair amount of money. It's I don't know. I haven't figured it out because I don't even really want to look at it, but it's probably around $300 a month.
So you would save a lot of money by quitting smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you think of any other reasons?
Well, I mean, you smell terrible.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Smokers, you know, those of us who smoke don't even realize it, and we're kind of kidding ourselves in a while. But somebody, like, I'll walk into the office and somebody say, well, Bob was out on the smoking deck, you know.
Okay, so you'd like to be more pleasant overall.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when we can look at the idea of smoking and quitting smoking, what would be some of the roadblocks or the cons of quitting smoking?
Well, you know, if something goes really good in your life, I reward myself with a cigarette. Like, I did well, and it's a reward. And it's the strangest thing, because if something goes really badly or there's pressure, I reach for the cigarette too. It's like this friend, and I can't even, it's a terrible thing to call it a friend because it's an enemy, but it's right there for me.
Okay, so the ceremony
Yeah.
of smoking.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, what, does that also pertain to the taking it to your mouth, your hand being busy, your mouth being busy? Do you ever find yourself doing it when you're bored?
Sometimes. I mean, like, if I have a cocktail or a glass of wine, I very quickly light a cigarette. And actually, that's been one of the reasons why I haven't aggressively quit, because I like having a glass of wine now and then. I don't drink all that much, but it kind of goes hand in hand, and I just say to myself, will you enjoy it? You know, you enjoy a glass of wine or a drink once in a while. Will it be the same without the cigarette? Which is stupid, but I mean, that's what I think about.
I've heard that before with eating. Right after you eat seems the time.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially a larger meal.
Okay, so
For some reason.
when you have a glass of wine, you have a tendency to smoke with it. They go hand in hand, and after a meal.
Right.
So you're going to miss that.
Uh-huh.
And then anything else that could possibly be a roadblock for you?
Well, I have a friend who gained like 25 pounds.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be really the case with me. I haven't had a weight issue, but it kind of got my attention. He was obviously overweight for him once he stopped smoking. And he just started eating stuff that was fatty or sugar-laden.
Okay. Well, we've got some reasons to quit, which far outweigh the reasons not to quit, in your opinion and commitment with confidence that you have. And so I want to try to help you come up with a plan to try to make you successful.
Okay.
So I was thinking one of the things to keep your hands and mouth busy would be gum, chewing on maybe a toothpick, or crunchy fruits and vegetables, popcorn, something that's gratifying for your mouth and hands to do.
Uh-huh.
Do you like celery and carrots?
Yeah,
Like that?
I mean, celery doesn't have much taste, but I mean, the crunchy thing kind of would be okay. Gum, I've never been much of a gum chewer, but I could see the popcorn, and I could see carrots or something like that, yeah.
Okay, and then after...
I've never thought of anything like that before.
After meals, would it be possible for you and maybe some support, maybe your family, your wife, to go for a walk after dinner?
Mm-hmm.
To distract you?
Yeah, it's funny. I've thought if I stopped smoking cigarettes, something has to replace it, and I don't know what that is. I run once in a while. I walk a fair amount, not a lot, but it feels ridiculous saying I'm going out to run and then I'm going to smoke, a pack of cigarettes the next day or 3/4 of a pack of cigarettes the next day. but I would like to replace it with something, and probably it would be best to replace it with something good.
Okay, so walking after your dinner, maybe avoiding alcoholic drinks for a while so that you can avoid that temptation.
Well, I mean, so I'm supposed to cut out cigarettes and drink. I don't drink that much. That's a lot to cut out all of a sudden.
Okay, well that's true, but while we're quitting, and you could resume some of your habits later, but right now we're trying to come up with a plan to either cut back or quit entirely. And right now, just cutting back, we want to eliminate any associations that you've had in the past.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely, I could cut back on both.
Okay. Have you ever considered in the patch or gum, the nicotine gum?
You know, I've heard about it, and I haven't taken it seriously. I really don't even know anything about it.
Okay. Well, we can definitely talk about those options, and then there's even a step up further than that with prescription medications such as Wellbutrin that's been proven to reduce smoking temptations, and also Chantix, which does as well. But let's try.
How does that?
But let's just try these. Yeah, let's just try these first with the carrots and the walking and the avoiding situations that you've put yourself in the past, so that you don't associate that with the smoking. And then have you ever considered a quitting smoking support group so that you can get camaraderie and hear other people's successes and ideas? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I wouldn't know where to go for that. Now, I do have a friend who quit, and he might be a good person to talk to.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes in a group setting, you get with other people who are trying to quit, and you get good ideas on things that they've used, but you also hear their struggles, and it's a camaraderie, and it's a support group so that you can check in on each other. And there's actually one at the hospital the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month, where you could go and get even more support.
So just 2 times a month.
Right. Yep. And it just comes as a check-in, and you guys can call and support each other, get good ideas, provide different recipes, different things to do.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make you a referral to the support group at the hospital, and I can give you all the information. But I'd also like to see you again in 2 weeks to see how you've done, because quitting smoking and cutting back, how much do you plan to cut back to start?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of need your direction in that way. I've tried cutting back like half, and then all of a sudden it went up again. And then I've tried completely, and that lasted a short period of time. I guess I would try for, I don't know, 12 cigarettes a day.
How about trying to cut back on every 3rd cigarette? We can start there. And then we can move move our goal each time we meet, depending on how successful you are. And there'll be setbacks, but you can get right back on our plan.
So you're talking about cutting back by a 1/3?
Yes. Do you think you can do that? Okay, with some of the ideas that we've talked about? Okay, so let's make an appointment to meet again in 2 weeks to assess how successful you've been, maybe revamp the plan. But I would like for you to attend the support group, and I'll go ahead and call ahead and get you enrolled.
Okay.
And then we will reassess in 2 weeks and see how things are going.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.